Okay, students, so here's another little tutorial I'm gonna make for you guys. Anybody know what kind of plant this is? No, guys, it's not weed. Okay, Calica's not growing weed at his house. This is what? Anybody know? Give me a second. Okay, it's basil. All right, and this basil actually, I grew it from a basil like bunch that I got from Fall Bistro. So me and my wife, we love pho, and went to get pho, and they gave us like a big bunch of basil. And all I did was, what I'm about to show you right now, is took some cuttings, put in water, and within a week, that cutting grew roots. I put it in the ground, and that's what you see today. Is this basil plant. And if you notice, this basil plant is pretty old. It's about a year old now. Kind of looks dead at the bottom. That's because it's old, but it's trying to reach up to the sky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some cuttings just to ensure that this thing can continue living. Okay, so all you gotta do, first of all, you want cuttings that are still green. So you see how this one's kind of woody? See how this stem right here is kind of woody looking? That's not a good cutting. Okay, you don't want that. You want a nice young cutting. So you see how this one right here, let's try to focus on that. Okay. Okay, so here I have our cut basil stems, and as you can see, try to focus on this a little better. Okay, as you can see, it's kind of like this purple color. You want it to be purple green, not brown, because that means it's like an older branch. But from here, all I'm going to do is I'm going to pick off all these bottom leaves. You can cut them off, but I'm just going to pick them off. Okay, because you don't want the leaves actually. Okay. So, the reason why you want the leaves is you're trying to force... Here's Connor. What's up, bud? Hey, Connor. Connor. Show off your haircut. Daddy did that haircut, yeah. Okay, anyways. So actually what you're trying to force the plant to do is something called transpiration, which means instead of you're trying to trick the plant from growing leaves, instead you want them to grow roots. Okay, so by taking off the leaves, you're kind of tricking the plant into thinking like, hey, what's going on here? Okay, I gotta survive, and so it's gonna start forming roots as opposed to the leaves. Okay, so I'm gonna make this easier. I'm just gonna go ahead and chop these off with my scissors. A little hard. Looking through. Okay. And up here, you want to leave a couple of leaves, but to make this a little more efficient, what I'm going to do is, because you do need some leaves, I'm going to cut these leaves in half. That. Literally just cutting the leaves in half. And again, that's just to kind of trick you into a process called transpiration. Okay. You guys can see right here. It's kind of what it looks like. Leaves in half. Got a couple more. Anyways, now from here, I'm just going to put in a glass of water. You want to make sure that the stem is submerged in water. Now, the roots will actually start growing from these sections, the nodes. Okay, to make it grow a little better, you can actually kind of scrape off some of this purple part. So I'm just kind of scraping that off. And that'll kind of help the roots grow out of the stem a little easier. You see how it's kind of exposed now? From there, put into water. You want to make sure that that end is in water. If it's out of water, it's not going to grow roots. Because basically the plant is looking for water. So if the part that you scraped off is up here, it's not going to be able to grow the roots. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing for this one. Kind of picking off, picking off, picking off. And again, I'm just going to cut these leaves in half. Down, down. All the bigger leaves, you just want to cut in half. Yeah, I'm just going to cut that leaf off. There we go. from there. Again, ends here. I'm just going to kind of scrape them off. Doesn't have to be all the way around, just kind of expose a little bit. And here you go, and just again, make sure that end is in water. Kind of hard to see, but you can see that it's in the water. Okay, and from here, we're just going to wait about a week, maybe a little earlier, but typically about a week it takes for the roots to start coming out. And I'll show you guys the process once it's done. Alright guys, so it's been about a week now, and what we have here is that same basil that I tried to propagate last week. Okay, if you guys remember, took this from a plant outside. As you can see here, try to focus, start seeing the roots coming in. Focus there. Okay, that one still got some time. You want the roots to get a little longer. Here's a better example. Bam, look at that. Again, all I did was I cut off a couple stems from my basil plant outside. I scraped off some of the stem, and as you can see, just put it in water, and bam, roots started forming. This is what you call transpiration. Okay, if you guys remember, I also took off most of the leaves, cut some of the leaves in half like that. You guys can see that, and it kind of forces the plant to grow roots as opposed to leaves. Okay, look at this one. It's a different example. Bam, look at all those roots coming out. So these guys we can actually put into soil now and grow some new basil plants. Again, my first
motion detected at the
in my first step here, I told you guys that I actually got this basil plant from Fall Bistro. Okay, so when I got some pho, okay, you know how they give you like a bunch of the basil leaves in a little package you do takeout? Well, I just got some of those basil leaves, or they gave me basil leaves with the stems attached. And all I did was I did the same thing. I just put those stems into a couple jars of water, and that's how I got my original plant. From that plant, that's how I grew these plants. Again, this is what you call propagation. But yeah, just something useful, something you guys can do at home. You can do this with a lot of different plants. If you guys don't know what plants you can cut the stems off and grow, what can you do? What do I always tell you guys to do? Yeah, Google it. Just Google it. There's all different types of plants that you can do this with. You can do this with flowers. You can do this with tea plants. I've done this with sugarcane, right? We've done this with sugarcane at our shop. So again, it's a little project you guys can do to build your own home garden. Alright students, so another little thing you can do for your home garden is I have this plant right here. Anybody want to guess what this is? Kind of looks like a chives. It's kind of wilting. Probably got transplanted soon. If you guys notice, check this out. What does that look like? That's a garlic clove. Basically all you need to do is, if you have any unused garlic cloves laying around, put them in water, and yes, they will start to form new plants. So all I would have to do is put this into soil, right? Well, first put it in water, wait until some roots grow. From here you just transplant into the soil, and you'll start basically growing new garlic bulbs. And from there you can take that garlic and use it in your food. Very simple to do. This one's kind of rotting. Gotta transplant that soon. But yeah, so another thing you can do, again, this is just store-bought garlic that was sitting around. Put in some water, roots started growing, start making a new garlic plant, basically. So just another way to propagate your plants. Again, there's a lot of plants where you can do these kinds of things with. Another one similar is ginger. If you guys want to grow ginger, you can actually grow it from the ginger root. Okay, so just something you can do during your time at home.